How's everybody doing tonight? I'm happy because, as you can see, we've got the ROKR 3D pinball back up. We're going to work on day 27 of that. If you've been following along, you know that we didn't do it the ROKR 3D pinball wasn't on the table the last 2 days. And the day before that, it was a little messed up. We had malfunction with, let me just switch to a camera. So that's a new YOLO box. I shipped the old one up to Boston today where they're supposed to do some repairs. This new one is actually great. This button down here, I used to have to hold it anywhere from like 10 to 20 seconds to get it to do anything. The new one, it just clicks and works. The screen seems like better. I'm thinking that old one I had was always broken. Because I remember the first day I got it, it took me a while to get it to turn on. I remember thinking that it just completely didn't work. And then it shut off a couple times, and I would like reboot it and get it back on the next day until 3 nights ago when it shut off and wouldn't turn back on. So then I was able to operate it using this external monitor, which I don't know. I don't think you can see it today. For some reason, this camera is like blocking it. All right, it's kind of back there. There's like, all right, let me point here. You see that? That's an external monitor. So I would send the YOLO box to that, and then I would be able to see. Now, what damage did I do? That looks fine. Okay, yeah, so camera 4 was probably in a weird spot. But one good thing came out of this, well, besides the fact that I now have a better YOLO box, and I guess I'll have 2 of them if they fix the first one. We also added a new camera. I'm going to show you that new camera right now. So I just sort of hung it there. I have to close and reopen this to activate it. I don't think I've figured out how to use it yet in terms of like making it look like correct. You'll see when I switch to it. Right now it's still booting up. All right, so now it's on, but it's not. Okay, now it's on the YOLO box. I'm going to switch to it if I can find it. No, something's not right. It disappeared. Let me just switch to where it's supposed to be. No. HDMI 3. All right, let's see what happens. All right. Well, it worked yesterday. It's not working today. It was going to be a Handycam, and it actually was working right up until the point when it was supposed to work. Let me just go through my cameras one by one. I mean, there's nobody joined yet anyway, so I can always cut this out later. All right, so right now we've got the main view. Camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, which is being blocked by the Handycam. Camera 4, usually a close-up, but for this pinball, I'm doing it as far away. I think I've got it too far away at this point. I probably can lower that a little bit. Let me see. You know what? Maybe it's kind of fun to see that. No, because then it's redundant of this other camera, which is camera 3 over here. Yeah, that's why that camera is blocking the view, because it's redundant. So I'm going to try to lower this camera a little. That even more blocks that camera. I don't know what's going on with those 2 cameras. I got to work on that. All right, let me see what that camera 4 looks like now. Now it's way too low. You're looking at my feet. All right, let's see here. We want to see the pinball machine, but we don't want it to be like super high. All right, how's that? Well, for today, that's going to be good, but we probably screwed up this one. Well, you see the model, but when I was trying to show you the monitor before that I was using when the YOLO box didn't display, you know what? I'll tell you what happened. This camera just reset a lot of stuff. I can tell you because some of these views are now not filtered the way they were like before. Like, let me go to this one. So this one that I'm on, yeah, if I look at it here, no, that's the same. Oh, you. Okay, sorry about that. That was some bad timing to switch to that camera. But anyway, the handy cam never showed up. We got here is the box. So that's a camera to my left with the box in it. And then here we've got the instructions as always. But what's supposed to be the new camera is this Handycam. Okay, maybe it's going to work right now. I'm going to try it one more time. All right, no, it's showing a blank screen. So that's not working. Can't really explain why. Let's see if it works this time. I'm going to give it one more try. It actually worked last night, but last night I was routing it through the ATEM. All right, so right now it's showing up on the Handycam, but it's not showing up on the YOLO box. All right, it's showing up on the YOLO box, so I'm going to go to it. So the idea with this Handycam is that I can move it around and look at anything that I want. The problem is it doesn't look good, does it? It's supposed to be a 4K camera, but like here I've got it right next to camera 1. So just to like show you my position, here's camera 1, here's the Handycam. Now, if we go to camera 1, that's what it looks like. If we go to the Handycam, that's what it looks like. I mean, I can set up a side-by-side potentially in a minute. Let me see if I can do that without breaking other stuff. All right, let's do a split view of camera 1 and the Handycam. Let's put them up there at the same time. Say done. All right, so there's the split screen. I mean, obviously camera 1, which is 1080p, looks 100 times better than this supposedly 4K camera. But it's possible that I don't know how to focus this 4K camera. Like, I got to look into it. I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing to focus it. Oh, I just like crashed it or something. All right. Oh, I took a photo. All right, so this is wide and this is zoom. They both look terrible. I mean, look at that mud. You're calling this 4K? It's obviously not 4K. All right, I'm going to stop playing with the Handycam, and we're basically just probably not going to use it tonight. I'm just going to put it back. So I'm going to put the cap on it. I close it. It's basically a work in progress at this point. Let's see here. I'm going to hang it back up here. And that part I think is cool, that it's like hanging there ready to be used. Hopefully it doesn't break. All right. Enough of this sort of nonsense. Let's get to work here. First time in a while. First time in 3 days anyway. All right. So the scoreboard says we're on page 50. But we might be done with page 50 because, as you recall, the last time we were working on this, it broke and the YOLO box broke and we couldn't update the scoreboard. So let's just take a look here. That's not page 50. It's page 48, page 49. All right, here's page 50. It's possible we did the top half and not the bottom. So on the top half, we did the buttons. All right, the buttons are there, so we definitely did the buttons. The buttons are working. Push this a little further back. You'll see the flippers there. You can see the little black caps on the end. So that's the top half. The bottom half is a ramp. So did we build a ramp and leave it somewhere? I don't see any ramps lying around, so I'm assuming that we didn't build that ramp. So it looks like we are still on page 50. I think. Yeah, this doesn't... I would have remembered this because, like, look at this. I don't know. I don't even know what... Those F41 pieces, I've never seen those before. So we definitely didn't do this. So that's what we're going to do right now. All right, so we're going to update the scoreboard for the first time in 3 days with, what is that, 7 pieces? F32 times 2, F38, F41 times 2, 43, and 44. So it's 7 pieces, and they're all coming from the F sheet. So we're going to go from 764 to 771. All right. Feels good to finally do that. All right, so the F board. Where is the F board? I believe it's the board with tons of pieces still in it. This is the F board. I know it by the look of it. All right. So 32, 38, 41, 43, and 44. All right. So the pieces that look like ramps, right? What are we doing here? Or, oh my goodness. That's not correct. I skipped over the bottom half of 15. Okay. So we have to remember when we get to 51 to not count that, because I already started that. Okay. Got a little messed up with all these days. All right. So we're going to add 4 more pieces. We're up to 775. By the way, that camera, that handy cam is now saying goodbye. So I guess even though I closed that lid like minutes ago, it just finally logged off. So 4 pieces. They're again from the F sheet. So at least we got the right sheet. So 12, 15, 35, and 36. There's some funky looking pieces. I think maybe where's one of these curvy ones has to be. Okay, 15, that's one of the pieces we need. They gave us 2 of these 15s. I don't know if they're going to use it twice or if it's in case we mess up. It definitely looks like the type of piece that could break, even just trying to get it out of the board, because it's got a lot of connection points. It's long and skinny. All right, we got that out. We still need 12, 35, and 36. 35 and 36 are right here. Again, long skinny pieces with accordion sections this time. Again, the type of pieces that break just getting them out of the board. So we're going to try to be careful with these. All right. Let's see here. You know, I still didn't click the monetize button on YouTube, even though I'm like qualified. I just don't. I mean, I have like the qualifications to monetize, but I didn't click it because I didn't feel like I was doing like a professional job yet. I hope to one day feel that way. But anyway, this YOLO box broke on, what was it, Monday or something? And not only did I keep streaming, that night, the next 2 nights, and now we're back here, back on YOLO box, I feel like that is kind of professional. I mean, if it was, maybe not. I mean, some people, they repair cars for a hobby, and they're also not going to stop production. So maybe it's not a sign of being professional, but it's a sign of commitment at least. It's like this thing broke, but we're still here. Where is F12? Where is it F12 hiding? I think we have to look and see what F12 looks like. Is it one of these off-ramp pieces? What is that? I think that says 11. But you know what? One of those pieces, I remember, broke off in the early days. So maybe that one was F12. Like this piece in here. Is that F12? Let's take a look. All right, we got a piece in here. That's F13. I bet you we're going to need that soon. So where's F12? It's probably one of these helmet pieces. All right, let's look on the instructions to see what it is. No, it's a little nothing, but it's a little nothing that I think we also had previously knocked out. I remember seeing that piece. In fact, we might have even broken that piece. Alright, I don't see another one in here. But if I don't find it on the board, I'll dump everything out of here and look again. Alright, okay, so it's right here. There's the F12. Okay. Now, there's some instructions here. Let's read what they say. The bending of part F35 is easy to break down. I don't know why they say break down instead of just break. Assemble carefully. Assemble now over by the F12. Actually, they're still pointing at the F35 and F36. It says assemble this end of F35, F36 firstly to prevent fracture. I think that's first. I mean, I'm not making fun of the English. I'm just really making sure that I understand correctly. Okay, so I think I do understand. I think they want us to clip the bottom first. I don't know if you want the bottom. The end with the F12. You know, I kind of feel like I want to work here, but this pool table is like, pinball machine is in my way. I think I'm going to move the pinball machine over a little bit. By the way, the power cord for it is here. We had this on the other night and we were playing it. And we're going to put it back in this position if we play it again. But just for now, I'm going to move it over so I have some space to work. So this can be the workspace. That's what I think anyway. All right, now let's see if we got this correct. So this piece I think goes. I'm just seeing if there's an orientation to it. You know what? I'll tell you what I do see, a lot of splinters. So we got to get the splinters off of all of these pieces. All right. One more. Man. I mean, this is a fragile piece to even get out. To have all these splinters hanging on, it just increases the chances that it's going to break the piece. Anyway, that's what they gave us. All right, so this direction. Is it symmetric? I believe it is. All right, now, these F36 and F35. I've already forgotten which one is which. Hopefully they say on them. They don't. So we're going to have to somehow figure it out. How are they different? Maybe they're not different. What do you think? Is there any difference between those two pieces? I don't think there's a difference. I don't think it matters which one is F35 and which one is F36. If you see a difference, you're better at this than me. I was thinking maybe one is like longer because one is like inside and one is outside. But it doesn't look like one of them is longer. Those are the same size. Is one of them thicker maybe? I don't know why that even would be, but I have a sense that this one's slightly thicker. No, they're the same thickness. All right, let's put them on top of one another one more time and see if they really look the same. You see black through all the holes. Actually, I don't. Yeah, now I do. Do I? Can you get black through all the holes at the same time? I think you can. All right. I don't know the answer here, but I don't know which one's 35 and which one's 36, but they are what they are now. I'm just still staring at them, seeing if I could find a difference. Okay. Let me see here. Well, next time I'm going to put them in order so I don't mess up. But as for now, I can't tell the difference. Now, when we put them together, this little, like, grabber thing is going to be down. So they said to start in front. So let's put it, let's do the front first, just like they said. So this F12 goes in parallel to the F15. And we're doing the front first. That's what they want. This is definitely the type of piece that you can break if you're not careful. So let's try not to break it. It's not going in. All right, there we go. No, it didn't. I think we got to do the top one first. I can't. This doesn't go in any case, first or second. Wow. Why'd they make that so tight? Okay. So we're probably going to have problems putting this other side on, because we had problem putting the first side on, and the first side on you could do like one side at a time. Second side, we got to do like all at once. I think I'm going to put this in first, just to kind of hold it in place. I think I'm going to put the whole F35 in first, because it's like flopping around and distracting me. I know they said just to do the front, but I did the front of that piece. Oh, it doesn't reach. Oh, but it's accordion, so it might reach? No. I think maybe it's the wrong piece. They're the same, though. All right, this one doesn't fit. So I'm going to try it on the other side. I'm not sure it's going to go either side, but that's what I'm going to try. All right, pull that out. Pull this out. Is the answer really that you stretch the accordion pieces? That seems a little crazy, but that's what I'm going to try. All right, I'll drop that piece. Try another piece. So again, we put the little piece on first, the F12, and then we put this big piece in. Make sure we got the curve going the right way. I still can't reach that piece. That's crazy. It's so far away. What am I doing wrong? These pins somehow don't connect. Like, I can't really explain. There's 2 holes there and there's 2 pins there, but the instructions don't say to connect them, and they don't line up. So I'm just going to skip them. I'm just going to go with skipping them. See how that works out. Wow, this piece is really flopsy. It's like tough to keep it in line. Those accordion want to play their music, not to be stuck around on this. And then these ones are too far. But they again don't say to connect those. This is crazy. Like what are they expecting here? It's like we're only connecting some of the pieces? Like some of the other are not going to connect? Okay. And they want this connected to... No, they want to connect it to the second piece. And that is really far away. I think I have to make these accordion connections. Because this one is like... This needs to go here. And it's so far from there, it's insane. Wow. Now I'm wondering back to that other piece. Was that correct all along? I don't think so. I just don't see this happening in either case. But I'm going to go back to trying the other one. So this video is definitely going to get edited when we do the compilation, because not only did I waste time playing it with cameras at the beginning, but we got this piece wrong, like, twice. I mean, we're probably still wrong. I just have no idea what to do here. There's no way this is incorrect. This is correct. Okay. Makes the first connection easy. Let's put on the other side before we do anything else. I know we tried this before and it didn't work, but we're trying it again. Okay, it went on. Seemed like, I wonder if these pieces move, and that's the secret to making these connections. To move the inner thing a little, this like inner piece, like move this a little bit to make the connections. The accordion pieces obviously have some give, but do the inner pieces also move a little bit? I don't know. But that's an idea. All right, that's in. Now this one definitely is a reach. So I'm worried that it's going to break if I try to make that reach. Right? I mean, I can line these up, but I can't line up the ones before them. I'm just going to do the best I can with these connections. And I think that it's boring if I just keep saying I'm trying to make this connection. So let's pull out one of these cards, word teasers first. Which product came first, Oreos or Pepsi Cola? Well, I know that Oreos were late. Like, for example, Hydrox came first. I know that there's a joke like imitation Hydrox, thinking that like Hydrox is the imitation of Oreos, and then the supermarket No Frills cookie is the imitation of Hydrox. But I know that Hydrox came before Oreo. I don't know if Pepsi came before Coke, but it's already sort of on the side that Pepsi's the answer, just because we know that Oreos relate to the cookie game. Yeah, this looks like it has no chance of connecting. I don't know what's going on here. I'm just going to do the best we can. Whatever connects, connects. Alright, so I don't know if it even helps us to think like if Pepsi was before Coke. I think that they're both old. Like they're both from before I was born. But I have this impression that Coke is first. I'm not really sure where I got that impression from. But that's what I think. Like Coke seems like the original and Pepsi the imitator. But I don't know that that's really true. You know, this one is no way going to fit to here. Has to fit to here. So Pepsi, that's completely busted. Alright, now it's going to fit, but, you know, it's a mess now. Now I have to check if we had any extras of those pieces. You see this pin from here to here? There's like no way that would ever work. I think I'm going to connect it to here. And at least we'll get like something out of it. I think it's going to be now not the best part of the game, but at least it's a rail, you know? You know what? This one just doesn't fit in any case. Like, they just don't line up. Like, these two pins don't line up with those two entrances. Which I know we're thinking now means that I put the wrong one on the wrong side. Maybe it does mean that. I don't know. Yep, this thing is destroyed. Well, if they didn't give us an extra piece, then I'm going to have to fabricate it. Alright, they gave us another, I don't know if they did or not. Oh, you know what? Those were both 35s. Those were both 35s I was trying to put on. So that's why it didn't work. So that's why this one got destroyed and that one went on. I was using two 35s instead of a 35 and a 36. Now, the question becomes, did we have an extra 35 or did I destroy a piece that we're going to need later? We're probably going to need it later, and I'm just going to do the best I can. It's probably going to involve some tape. Alright, so here's 36. So I was trying to force a piece where it didn't fit, and I didn't notice it. It happens. You know, I usually mess up on the first piece of the night. I shouldn't say usually, but that's the most likely piece I am to mess up on. So we're 33 minutes in, and we didn't build anything yet. Not so good for episode 369. But, you know, we're going to forge ahead and continue. Trying our best. Alright, yeah. 36 goes on the left. So it was just the wrong piece. That piece was just never going to fit in there. It was the wrong piece. Oh, what do you know? 36 goes in easily. Wow, that was so stupid of me. I was trying to put the piece where it didn't go because I thought it was a different piece. Wow. I mean, how dumb can you be? You probably could be dumber. I mean, there's stupider things you could do. But that was pretty bad. That was definitely I was definitely up there. I was pretty stupid. All right. So anyway, with the right piece, it went on very simple. You know, all that talk on the instruction of like, be careful or you'll break the piece, it made it seem to me like the piece could break. And if you look here, one has a tab at the bottom and the other doesn't. So they're just totally different pieces, and I don't know why I didn't get that. All right, so what's the answer to our question? Pepsi Cola appeared in 1898, 5 years earlier. It was introduced as Brad's drink, named after the founder, Caleb Bradham. It beat America's best-selling cookie, the Oreo, by 14 years. So I guess the Oreo is from like 1912 or something like that. Anyway, that's the end of page 50. Let's move on to page 51. We already collected and counted the pieces. No, we already counted the pieces. We didn't collect them yet. So we need F32 times 2, 38, 41, 43, and 44. Let's finally grab those pieces. And let's hope that we don't need that F35, but we probably do. I mean, who knows? $32 is a nothing piece. It's that little pin. A little nothing. Okay. I think I got at least 2 of them out. Might be more. All right, F38, 41. Yeah, those pieces are like little nothings. They look like exactly the same as splinters. All right, so 38, 41, 43, and 44. This is 38, I believe. This rather big piece here. That was tricky. I knocked out a second 38. Again, I don't know if it's extra or if we'll need it. I don't know how I did that. Excuse me. All right. Still didn't put down yet 30. No, that was 38. We need 41 times 2, 43, and 44. So 41 is this piece right here. I remember we were looking at that in the instructions. We still need 38. No, we got 38. Why do I keep saying that? We need 43 and 44. There they are. That's 43. That's 44. They look like planes. I don't know. No, that's not what they look like. You know what they look like? Boba Fett's ship, but a little elongated. Maybe they look like helicopters. I don't know. I got a lot of ideas about this piece. Maybe they look like dolphins. A lot of ideas on that piece. All right, a lot of splinters. We got some pieces that are the size of splinters. We only need 2 of them for now. And what do we need to do? We need to pick up 38. Sand it, as always. All right. We need to put in... Let's make sure we got it correct. Look at that. That needs to be sanded. Okay. So we have the position correct. Every time I go to start, I see that it needs to be sanded. All right. Symmetric, I'm pretty sure. So these 2 little nothing pieces. Not nothings. Those ones are the nothings. What are these? Like eyeballs or something? They have ink on them. They have ink. And it's not clear to me which is the ink side. And they're calling for them to be waxed. You see that little like... that means wax. So we need to wax these pieces for some reason. I'm not sure what that logo is supposed to be, but somehow it means wax. Okay, I think the ink side faces this curved side. That's how it looks in the book. So that's how we're doing it. I'm not sure what they want inked. Sorry, what they want waxed. Looks like they want the whole thing waxed. Okay. They fall right out when you attempt to wax them. Did I not push them in far enough? Let's try harder this time. Yeah, definitely in further this time. So that, if nothing else, the waxing helped to identify, God bless you, that they weren't in all the way. There was a sneeze. I think it's like politically correct to say bless you, but I like to say God bless you. Why do people have a problem with God? Come on. What did God ever do to you? I know that some people have lists. You know, the book of Job has quite a list of things that were done. But, you know, I think I still like saying God bless you. All right, so I'm not sure how deep they want this little tiny piece put in. Maybe if we can tell where it's going. First of all, this is 43, and they want 44. And they want it to go in this side. But, like, I'm not sure how deep it goes. I guess to flush with the back is the plan. It's tough to even hold this piece. That's why I'm using the needle nose pliers. A very tiny little piece there. All right. All right. Now, how do I get it flush? I guess just push it as far as it'll go, right? I'm feeling like that I knew that. Like it's going to break or it's going to twist. Let's hope it only twisted. We have another piece if it broke. We have another one of these. Yeah. It doesn't appear to be broken, but it definitely twisted. I'm just going to try again. Okay. I think it's in now. Nah, I think it's broken. I'm going to throw that one out, grab another one. And the next one, I'm just going to push it in as far as it goes. I'm not going to attempt to twist it. Not to twist it. To drive it in any further. Because then I'm risking breaking it again. So I'm just going to put it in. And hopefully it goes in enough. And if not, so be it. I think it's good. All right. So that was 44. And then at 44, you turn this like backwards. So you're not seeing those little eyeball pieces anymore. They want to turn that way. And then this 44 connects these first three pins. Says the bending part is easy to break. Pay attention to part's direction. Kind of two different messages there. Pay attention to the direction and don't break the piece. But one thing, how they're kind of related, if you mess up and have to take it in and out, it's a fragile piece, you're risking breaking it. So, well, I guess they are kind of connected statements. But they also can both stand on their own. Having trouble getting in this lower pin. Maybe it's already in. Let's assume that it is. I don't think it's in. I needs to go. All right, there we go. That's better. All right, it's in now. Okay. I assume we need to put this 32 into 44 and then attach it here. I mean, that would make perfect sense, right? That's not what we do. That's not at all what we do. We have to pick up this piece and attach it. See, good thing we didn't assume. Or maybe that is what we do. I have to see what this looks like when it's all together. I'm not sure if this is attaching like here or is attaching on the side. I want to see what it looks like when it's built. It's kind of tough to read that, right? Like, is that 43 piece going, is it connecting directly to this piece, or is it like going through this piece? It's probably connecting directly to this piece, but it's really hard to tell from that instructions. So I'm going to see what it looks like after it's built. Maybe that'll tell us. Yeah. The way it looks after it's built, totally different than what this picture seems to be telling us. So based on the looking what it looks like after it's built, taking a sneak peek at that, it looks like 43 goes right on the side, and then this other piece that we built a minute ago goes in the middle. The only reason they're kind of showing them at the same time is if you put this on first, you probably can't fit that in the middle. So definitely the 32 piece goes here. So let's do that first. And then we're going to put this all together kind of at once. This 32 is like so difficult to work with. Oh man, I got the needle nose caught. All right. So it's going to go like this in a minute. But this piece is going to connect up here. So we got to kind of half put that in before we put the other side on. And then this is probably going to flip down, and I don't know. Maybe it's like a turnaround kind of thing. Like the ball will go 360 up this ramp and then land on this. Like you shoot, the ball goes up here, goes around the top, lands here. I'm taking a guess, but I think that's a good guess. I've seen those kind of curves in pinball machines before. This piece is not going in. It needs to. We can't do the other side until this is fully in. Yeah, it's still not fully in. There we go. Now it's in. So probably there's going to be more pins on that side. That would be my guess. All right, so now we finally can attach this piece. So I guess it's going to hook to the top of this and then down there. I'm not sure which to do first or to do them all at once. Let me try to line them all up. You know what's suffering when I do this stream? My comic books. I want to finish Vin Duty. But, you know, it's weird because I'm up to... I have 3 episodes to go in Vin Duty to finish the story of the 3 comic issues to go. But the last 2 are really like... It's the climax, just spans 2 issues. And I've already traced out, so there's 8 issues. 5 have been released. 6 I have on my computer. I don't know why I haven't released it yet. And then 7 and 8 are the climax. And in 8, the story is revealed. And I have deep concerns that not only will the story be misinterpreted, but it will be misinterpreted so badly that it could have negative consequences for me. And I think that kind of stalled me. But I will finish it. I have to. It's not bad. It's good. But it may take people... Some people might not realize it's good. But... This thing didn't go on. Alright, while I fiddle with this, let's grab the next question from the box. Alright. Which country was first in space, USA or USSR? So, just working backwards, 1969 was like the man on the moon, the Apollo mission. Before that, I believe Russia had a rover on the moon. But they're not talking about the moon, they're talking about space. And if you're talking about space, well, wasn't the first man in space Yuri Gagarin? Did anyone see, what's that new movie? I think it's just called Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. One of the characters is a talking dog called Cosmo, with a Russian cosmonaut suit. Now, of course, the actual Russian dogs was named Strelka and Belka. But, they name it Cosmo after the cosmonauts. It's a movie, But anyway, are we talking about people in space or just ships? Like, do dogs count? Anyway, even if you're talking about people, then Yuri Gagarin was the first man in space, was he not? I know that U.S. did some things, like first, obviously, on the moon, first, like, to travel, around, I think, like, to plot a course all the way around the Earth, like, am I saying that right? Circumnavigate sounds like water, like somehow in space. Let's just look at the back of the card. Let's look at the front first, because I forgot the question. Which country was the first in space? Yeah, so whether you're talking about Strelka and Belka, the monkey, or Yuri Gagarin, there was a movie I saw. There was a joke I thought of, and some movie had the same joke, but I had posted it. I'm convinced that a lot of the stuff I've posted has been lifted by other writers. So that's one of the reasons why I have a stream. So now at least I have like a dated stream. So one of the things I saw, I think it was in Fargo, the guy was saying like the Russians sent dogs into space and the US sent monkeys. Is a little dangerous because the monkeys can like flip switches and press buttons and things like that, whereas the dogs couldn't do that. And then I think there's another movie. Which movie is this where they show the dog? I think it's the dogs and monkey in space, and the monkey eats the dogs. I forget which movie that is. Anyway, it's either Strelka and Belka or Yuri Gagarin, but either way, my answer is that Russia was in space first. The USSR launched the first actual satellite called Sputnik 1. Oh my goodness, that's what I really should have said, was Sputnik. Forget about Yuri Gagarin. Oh my goodness. Yeah, of course it was Sputnik. My wife drove a lot of Sputnik when we met. Not the spacecraft, the car, the Russian car. It's almost like a Honda Civics, but it's a little boxier. Like an old Honda Civic, but a little boxier. It was called the Lada Sputnik. She had the 2-door version in green. Anyway, that was just the name of a car, but Sputnik was the first satellite. It was very famous, Sputnik 1. The USSR launched the first artificial satellite called Sputnik 1 into space in October 1957, inaugurating the space race with the U.S. The U.S. followed up in 1958 with Explorer 1. So there you go. It wasn't Strelka, Belka, Yuri, Buzz, or Neil. It was Sputnik. We should have known that. Very embarrassing. Well, it was U.S. or USSR, so we got it right technically, but kind of accidentally as well. All right. So we did the first half of page 51. Bottom half is only 2 pieces, and we're going to add them to the existing structure, F45 and F46, while assembling support the inside with your fingers. So we're adding some little pieces. Oh, these look even more like Boba Fett's Slave 1 ship. These pieces we're adding 45 and 46. Let's try to keep them on the right sides, and they're gonna, this basically flap is going to like fold down on top. As we were predicting, creating the somewhere for the ball to do a 360, go from this track to that track. Basically a 360 exchange. And these pieces we're going to add, they're going to clip on here, and they're going to basically, they're going to do that. So I need pieces 45 and 46, and that's going to put us up to, that's going to bring us to page 52 when we get to it, but we're still on 51. But it's going to bring us up to piece 777. So I think page 52, piece 777, day 27. I know we only got one page done today, but those numbers are too good. We have to stop. USSR, yes. Waylon guessed it right. Okay, let me pull out another question so Waylon can guess on the next one. Hold on a second. Which of these popular board games came first, Candyland or Sorry? Gotta think about that. But I'm also gonna give Waylon his credit when that shows up on the board there. It takes a minute for some reason to show up, but Waylon got that one. Good work, USSR. All right. Now, 45 and 46. So Candyland or Sorry? Candyland is a simpler game, but it's a kid's game. And I know you're thinking, well, aren't they all kids' games? But it's a simplified version, you know? Like, I kind of feel like even if the kids' game sells more, you would create the adult game first and then modify it into the kids game. Not that Sorry is really like an adult game, and I also think it's kind of complex. They do kind of use, Candyland's definitely simpler, but I think they both use the same like kind of pieces. I'm really grasping at straws here, but the answer is, I don't know the answer. I gotta think about it. All right, so okay, so we already have one vote here. Waylon says that it's Candyland, which I think is, I mean, I already was thinking that I was going to go with Sorry, but I want to think about it a little bit more. But if I can't come up with a reason not to, I'm probably going to go with Sorry, just because one of us has to be right and one has to be wrong. So, well, I guess we could both be right, but that's the way I'm thinking about it. So I lost track of which was 45 and which was 46. But I'm again thinking they look the same, but I remember last time I thought that it ended up being disastrous for us. All right. 45 and 46. What's the difference between these pieces? I'm going to go back and look at the board that they came from. Look for some hint. 45 and 46. All right, let's see. See if this fits in 46. It does, but maybe the other one fits in 45. See if it also fits in 45. I think it fits better in 45. All right, let's try this one. Fits in 46. I think they both fit better in 45, but I'll call that one 46 because I got to pick something. So that's what I'm going with. All right, so let's say this is 45. It's going to go on these two pins back here, and it's going to curve these around. Let's see here. Okay. Still also thinking about Candyland or Sorry. The problem is that Honestly, don't remember Sorry very well. I only remember the pieces that you moved, and maybe this is Sorry, maybe it's not. Which was the game that had like a popper in the middle, and you would like press on it, and there was dice inside of the popper, and they would like, flip around, and you would read them? Was that Sorry? Which game was that? I'm not sure. Anyway, if that's the case, that's an argument for Candyland, just because that's a sophisticated mechanic. But that could have not been in the first version. Like, the first version could have just had 2 dice that you roll. And then mothers complained their kids were losing the dice. So then they created a version where the dice are like sealed into the popper. And then it could still be Sorry, could still be the answer. But without the popper version. I wonder how many games there have been like that. Okay, we got one side on. Yeah, I think that's my answer. I think I'm switching my answer to Candyland, because I think Sorry has technology on the board that's more complex, and Candyland was first. Sorry. Sorry, based on the ancient Indian game called Pachisi. Is that the same as Parcheesi? Was introduced in 1929. Candyland was introduced 20 years later in 1949 and still sells nearly 1 million copies every year. Well, I got it wrong. I'm not sure, I don't know. I'm still not sure which game Sorry was. Was it the game with the popper or not? I probably don't know. If now I have to look at Sorry and see. So it's based on Parcheesi or Pachisi. Is Parcheesi and Pachisi the same thing? An Indian game, I assume they mean the country of India, not like Native American. I had to research some game. I forget what it was called, but when I did the graphic novel 700 Nights, there's a scene where the guys on Dragu Reese's ship are playing a board game, and I had that board game, and actually he gives a speech, and I forget exactly what he says, but it includes something about putting away children's games. And basically I watched a few videos, looked at a few kits of that game, Ottoman Empire board game. When I went, I forget where we went, but I think it was upstate at Hyde Park. Is that where it was? No, it was, I don't know exactly where it was, but it was Vanderbilt's. Near Poughkeepsie. They had a mansion, and they had a game room. And those games, yes, they were like poker and roulette and stuff like that, but they also had a lot of board games. Like, if you look into board games, that was a popular thing. Like, they had some really complex board games. They were almost like magician tricks. They're like boards that were really active. So actually, it was silly of me to think that little like popper, that dice popper is technology, because actually they had like crazy technology. Like 2 nights ago when I was doing that Japanese secret box, like that, they had a lot of board games like that, and that's exactly the type of thing that the Rockefellers would buy. I mean, back then, what really was there to do? I mean, not Rockefellers, the Vanderbilts. So they've got like the equivalent of billions of dollars, and like TV hasn't been invented yet, and like the major sport is baseball. So someone comes to their home, and they've got something that looks like this, or maybe it's 4 times the size of this, but it's like got all this crazy wooden like structures in it, and they're billionaires. They'll pay for it. There's something called Cabinet of Curiosities. I think it might be on Netflix. It's from Guillermo del Toro. And it starts, the introduction shows this cabinet with all these like curious things. I think they actually edit it so that it can be different each episode. But the point is, you can create elaborate cabinets and you can create games. Like people think, oh, I play this video game and it's got these CGI zombies. They had haunted houses, like tabletop ones that sat there, and they released like cabinets of curiosities, and people put a lot of time and effort into them. Some of them were probably one of a kind type of things, or some of them were like there was one of a kind, but then they went and showed it to Vanderbilt's, and probably they would say, I want one, and he'll say, okay, give me like 10K in 10 months and you'll have one. And they're like, no, I want this one. And he's like, well, that's mine. I mean, that's the model. If I got to start from scratch without a reference, they're like, we'll give you 20K sold. You know, I mean, I don't know. I'm just kind of making that story up in my head, but I think so. Anyway, that's where we are. It looks good. I think it's going to be like a little turnaround piece. We could try it right now. I could like flick a marble in there and we could see if it turns around. I feel like I need a vise to hold the other end. All right, I'm going to hold it. I'm going to grab a marble or a pinball, and I'm going to hold this structure with one hand, and I'm going to flick the marble with the other, and we're going to see what happens. Nothing's going to happen because we don't have a ramp. All right, that's not going to work. Okay, the only way I could do it, I flip it while it's on the ramp. All right, let's see. I didn't flick it hard enough. All right, I think I got an idea. I'm going to use this, like, thing. Why am I not flicking hard enough? One more try. There we go. Do you see that? Let's hit the replay button. All right, let's see that marble go up there. There it is. The marble went up. All right, so we're done with page 51. Page 52, 777 pieces. Day 27. I guess tomorrow's going to be day 28. Yeah, I'm going slow. Sorry. It is what it is. I'm John Rapp. This is Just Rest Your Eyes. Good night, and see you tomorrow.